Hello everybody, I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes just to let people get notified that I'm here, and then I'll start. Hello. Hi. So yeah, beautiful, I'm seeing people start now. Hello, welcome. Great to have you here on my live. Gosh, I get so nervous before I do these things. It's horrible. It's really horrible, and it doesn't get any easier either. That's the thing. People always say about like confidence and doing things online, and I totally get it, where they're coming from when they lack confidence of showing up on social media. But you just have to get on with it, otherwise you just never do it. And you just have to trust like nice people show up. You're not going to get too much stick. So hello everybody, like I can see waves and everything, so that's really nice. Thanks very much. I hope you guys get something out of it. We are going to be creating some kind of download for you to have. Hi Emma. We're going to create workbooks, journals or something. I'm going to speak with my team tomorrow to see what we can get that's really juicy for you to start working through your chakras. And you can think of any life theme that you want. You can work with your chakra system, because the chakra system really holds all the wisdom of your body, all the stuff that you've forgotten, all the cellular memory, your ancestral memories. They're all contained within this energetic field that you have, that your brain just can't think of, but your body knows. So if we send our attention there and really focused in, and just to start to tune in and allow that like energy, if you like, that chakra, whichever one we're working on, if we allow that to speak to us, and we can do it. So if you've got a pen and a piece of paper, I'd suggest you do that, or just sit in meditation and allow the messages to come through. If you're not perimenopausal like me, you'll have a better brain and you'll be able to remember. If not, grab a pen, and when the answers land, you can just write them down. And you can come back to your answers as well. It could be bullet points, it could be long sentences, you might not even recognise your handwriting. So just allow that to flow through you. But today we're going to talk about the root chakra, because the root chakra really is the key one to work on. I know lots of us want to jump straight into the third eye and the crown, but without having the solid base in place, you're building your dreams and your house on rocky foundations. The root chakra is the important one, if you say, and then you have the sacral and the solar on top of those. So those three kind of more physical, earthly chakras are the ones that kind of contain all of the harsh imprinting, if you like, and the great imprinting as well. But quite often in life, we feel stuck and we're held back, and we have these beliefs, and they have stemmed from things that have happened in our childhood, traumatic events. It can be things we've inherited passed down in our DNA, and those genes have been switched on. But the root chakra really is about, it's where we have the opportunity to reparent ourselves. So the root chakra of, some great information. I always question why, I think it's the 61 design in my human design, and that is to investigate. It's to kind of dig the deeper questions, to keep going, to really research and find the why. And chakras, they've been written in ancient text for centuries, all of time really. But science kind of hasn't dispelled them, because of the way the camera systems can work now. They can pick up on these subtle energies, so they're not particularly completely poo-pooed by some certain science-based things, but they are still a little bit woo-woo. But they have been written about in all of the ancient text. Sometimes that's where we turn to actually get our answers for natural medicine. So I see them as a way of sensing what's going on, and it's a beautiful way to merge the spiritual essence of us with the physical essence of us, because we can have the sensations in the chakras. Different experiences trigger different parts of our body, and we feel different sensations based on different emotions, and that can be due to this very fine nerve plexus that cross over the midline of our body, really, and they're connected to endocrine glands as well, so they really form part of our circulatory, our hormonal system, and our nervous system being the one that we're going to work on today. So the root chakra is it starts at early childhood, but it's so much more than that, because when we're forming in the fetus, the nervous system, specifically something called the neural tube, is among the first structures to form the nervous system, and then the brain, and the neural tube, it eventually does develop into a brain and a spinal cord, which are the foundational components of the central nervous system. And that's where the root chakra, the base of the spine, the coil, you can say it's like the coil of where maybe your kundalini energy sits. And that really governs the root chakra. So the root chakra is all about, let's say, our nervous system and how our nervous system is hardwired. And it's also, the themes are around kind of safety, survival, and security. And over these 7 weeks, I'm going to help you with your life purpose, your soul mission. People really tune in whenever I do a post, and it's about kind of finding your soul purpose and your soul mission. People really are drawn to this. To me, to Soul Awakening Academy, I don't know, or just the theme, but they really want to know. And I was there too, what the fuck is my soul purpose? It's like, it can be so frustrating to figure it out, but it's often so right under your nose, and it does come down to the root chakra. But we can't really allow ourselves to feel what our life purpose and soul mission is if we are closed off in that area, where we are so driven by our security needs, we're so driven in a maybe fight or flight state of anxiety, or even a state of disassociation with ourselves and our bodies and our own desires and wishes. So we have to come back into a center and a place of strong foundations, even though your life may have not been built upon strong foundations and your sense of identity may have been shattered. This is a big one for adoptees. They talk about the void. Adoptees can, when they visualize, sometimes all adoptees see a blackness and an abyss when they're trying to get back to source. They will see a blackness and an abyss and the void and the nothingness. And that is because of their fragmentation, on their nervous system and the connection to their mother being shattered. So your connection to your mother in utero is so important to how your imprinting is setting you up for the rest of your life. And another layer is also the epigenetics as well. So all the generational trauma that we know is passed down through a number of generations, and our mother's environment and our mother's emotions. So our DNA, our genes can be switched on due to environmental circumstances that switch on a gene expression of, let's say, victimization or something like that can just be switched on, because we are imprinting, we are taking on, we are absorbing those emotions from our mum or environment, and it triggers that in us, and then we're maybe predisposed to face the world and see the world and experience the world from that lens. But all of this can be changed, by the way. So it's not doom and gloom. Just going to have a sip. I decided to go for turmeric tea tonight, which is just not cutting it for me. I prefer a good cup of Yorkshire brew, but because it's late at night, I probably won't sleep. So it should sort me out, help me get to sleep. So does anybody here have trouble accessing and hearing the message or understanding what their soul purpose is? I don't know how you're going to let me know this, because I'm not really used to Instagram, but I think I can see comments. So somebody's saying yes. Hello. Hi. Yes. Yes. Yes, I've no idea what I'm here to do. Susie says a little. Emma says she feels conflicted. Yeah. Because quite often we're trying to figure it out, aren't we? Joanne says yes. We potentially are using the ego to give us the answer, when it's not going to really come particularly from the conscious mind. It has to come from a feeling. Janie says, yes, I feel, I know on some level, but don't know how to get there. Yeah. So rather than it coming from the from the ego mind, where the ego mind is a bit logical and it's conscious and it wants to figure things out, because we are asking the question, what is my life purpose? So, you know, we're naturally designed to give ourselves the answer. We may think it's our subconscious mind or our intuition, but sometimes it can be the conscious mind, and that's where the confusion lies, because we may hear a voice or words will pop into our brain, but we don't necessarily trust it or act on it because we are in conflict. Is that my conscious brain? And the answer to that can be yes, especially if you're searching and asking yourself the question. So what do we do in that situation? Because we all want to know, but why do we want to know? Why is it important for us to know? Because potentially the whole journey through our life is to find it. And, maybe, I don't know, I'm just brain farting here, by the way. I'm just like thinking out loud with all you guys. So please share what you feel. But, our purpose is to be on the path of purpose. So if it's given to us too soon, if we figure it out too soon, what happens then? Is that part of the purpose to not know until a certain point in our growth and transformation? I think if I'd have known what I was going to be doing 20 years ago, I would have not accepted it, maybe gone in a different direction, maybe rebelled because I wouldn't have liked the sound of it, or it didn't fit with my lifestyle back then. Well, it certainly wouldn't have fitted with my lifestyle, particularly back then. So divine timing, yeah. So Emma says the joy is found on the journey. Yes. And it's actually right under your nose anyway. There's a tale. I don't know what it's called, but it's about where, I don't know, God hides our purpose or our kind of treasure, or sacred treasure, let's say. And, they're like, right, where are we going to hide it so the humans don't find it. And they hide it in our hearts because that's not the place where we go. And why is it that we've been deconditioned to not enable to live from the heart and to live from the root, which is survival, and the ego, which is the will and motivation? It's not necessarily a bad thing. So she can relate a lot. So finding your purpose feels like a quest. It can feel like the hero's journey. You're like, I feel the call to adventure. You're bored of the ordinary life, let's say, or something happens that wakes you up. And it can be quite as simple as reading a book, and it wakes you up. There's something in that book that is the catalyst for everything. And then you're on this hero's journey. You take your first step. You hear the call to adventure and you take it. It's like the fool's journey as well in tarot. And then you start to find issues along the way, let's say. And one of those issues can be finding the soul purpose. What is the soul purpose? What is the reason for my existence? So even having that kind of existential question, even being able to ask yourself that existential question is a level of deep self-awareness and transcendence. And I'll tell you, not everybody on this earth asks themselves that question, but you do. So there's something about you that believes that there is so much more to your physical existence and that you do have a purpose in life. And I would say that you absolutely certainly do. And finding it is something I love to help people with, because it's obvious. It's so obvious when you share your story and you share your pain and you share your trauma. That's where your purpose is. It's simple, and it's so under your nose. So think about, it's not just as simple as, what's my soul purpose? I've lived this life and I've had this issue or challenge, therefore that's it. It can go way, way deeper than that. Astrology is a beautiful tool to help you really see what's going on in your birth. Anyway, that's a different story. But think about the generation before you. Think about if you know your mother, your father, your grandparents, the family tree. What have been their issues? What has potentially been passed down to you for you to be the one to question their existence, to question your life, and to potentially, probably, more than likely, heal your trauma, to then be able to find the strengths, the gifts, and to then be able to share that in the world somewhere. Because somebody who wants to know their purpose isn't just going to be, oh, that's nice, I could wake up tomorrow and, crack on with my 9-to-5 job. There's normally a calling that's stirring. So why are you even asking the question? So let me ask you the question. Why do you want to know what your purpose is in this lifetime? And what would knowing it give you? Yes, I love your comment. Infinity light healing. %. Oh my God, Nick, yes, I resonate with that. There's a feeling of something missing. Guidance for the future. A lot of people, oh gosh, purpose through having children, but I don't and won't have any. So I often question what I'm here to do instead. So that's the purpose through having children. I do get you, but it's potentially that's a bit of a limited view potentially as well, because so many people choose not to have children or don't have children, but still feel a sense of purpose. And I get why you would feel that way though. Susie said, honestly, it's just a really strong feeling that I'm here to guide, yes. And I can't say that, sorry. I want to help people understand the spiritual word from a basic point of view, probably, and help guide them further on their journeys. I know I'm here for a reason. Yeah. So a lot of that resonates with me too. Feeling that something was missing, that can definitely be a level of fragmentation, it can be trauma related, and I get that. A feeling of wanting to help and heal others, yes, and that can actually come through the wounded healer, which is gorgeous to start with. A feeling of wanting to help others. I've always felt I'm supposed to do big things, but I can't figure out what those big things are. Kelly says, once you realise your purpose, you want to be of service to help others and help them through the same experiences as you. Yes. So all of those are a big fat yes for me. And I have experienced levels of them all. So there are many different layers to it all, really. And I always like to look at things in layers. Okay, so that's like a bit of a scientific model, or, you know, a psychologist model. That's an energetic and spiritual model. How do they work together? So feeling like something is missing can be a level of trauma, where something so painful has happened, and it could have been when you're in the womb. You know, adoptees, because I am one, you know, they do sense that abandonment and loss, and it can give them a sense of sometimes not feeling completely whole. But other traumas can cause that as well. So there's a sense of not feeling completely whole and wanting to fill that up. So you're looking for it. It's a beautiful place to look, by the way, is in self-development, because I wish I'd have known that when I was in my, you know, late teens, 20s, like earlier growing up. So doing the work, the self-development, spiritual development, whatever you do, is the best place to try and feed and fill the soul to feel whole, and you will get there. And you know, that wanting, that desire to know what it is, so then you can turn it into something. So then it becomes a bit more tangible and not just invisible. And then you can create whatever it is, like somebody said, a piece of art, a piece of music, a book, whatever it is that you get to share yourself with, that actually helps other people, is such a rewarding thing. And on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know, that being of service is so high up there. It's what people move through, the root chakra, the safety zone. Eventually, everybody is trying to get to that altruism, that level of service that you can be into other people, because that giving is reciprocal. It also feeds you as well. Okay, so shall we maybe just tune in and ask ourselves some questions? So take a minute just to try and bring yourself into a bit of a centered space. If you're in a position where you can maybe gently close your eyes, I would invite you to do that. I'm sorry, I can't play any plinky plonky music. Don't know how. And take your awareness to your heart, your heartbeat, your breathing. And if you do have your eyes closed or open, just using the imagination and the senses, just bring your awareness within. And I would like you to imagine really calming the nervous system down. And you can imagine whatever feels right. It could be two huge feathers or something that's very gently stroking the back of the spine and the top of the head. We all get tension in our backs and in our shoulders, in our necks. Just imagine something just gently just stroking away all of the pain and tension. And then you can imagine maybe it's gentle hands or feathers or strokes of some sort that are soothing and calming to your nervous system. And as it works its way down the spine, even down your arms, it can just stop right at the base of your spine. But you can also send that soothing energy right down your legs as well, to the tips of your toes. And just allowing your body, taking a nice deep breath in maybe, and as you exhale, just allow your body just to release any tension that it's holding on to. And even in this moment, you may have insecurities, you may have doubts, you may have criticisms, you may have judgments. You may be projecting all of that onto me. And you may be projecting that onto other people who are on the live. Or you may be projecting all of that onto yourself. And that's okay. Because in this moment, the nervous system is questioning. Maybe you have some kind of attachment style that may be anxious, even avoidant or dismissive, and doesn't like to be in spaces where you don't know the outcome or you aren't fully in control. That's okay. We want the nervous system to tell us how it feels. Because we're also equally as in control of the nervous system by reinforcing a feeling of safety, by reinforcing a sense of feeling like you are owning your identity. That no matter what has happened to you throughout your life, you have a sense of identity and owning your space in the world. And maybe your life hasn't always been plain sailing and your nervous system is on fight and flight or shut down and freeze at times. And maybe that sense of security is something quite unusual for you to feel. And if that is resonating with you, then do yourself a favor and just give yourself some support. And if you know your backstory, if you know your genetic history, you can even imagine, through imagination, your ancestors, your male on the right, your male lineage on the right. Put them a foot or 3 foot away from you, behind you. and your female on the left, your female ancestral lineage on the left behind you. Imagine moving them out of your body with all their emotions, all their experiences, all their choices and decisions that they made, their consequences, moving out of your body and standing a couple of feet behind you. And maybe in your mind's eye or physically, you can just sense or look and see how many that generation it goes back. If anything is coming up for you that doesn't feel quite right, you can just put, with your imagination, you can put a screen, a plastic screen. You can imagine a plastic screen, a guard that separates you from them, just so you can observe it all. And I would ask your imagination now just to imagine two cords that run right the way through the male line. Notice what colour it is. It connects to your root, the base of the spine. Imagine a cord that runs through the female, connects at the base of the spine. Just an energetic cord. Two cords, male and female, energetically linked to your root. And I want you to tune in to your root chakra. Your root chakra is red. You can put your hands on the base, on the front and the back, or on the back, on the pelvis, wherever your hands need to go, just put them there, just for comfort, support and healing. And this cord of energy, I want you to feel the sense of empowerment. Now you may question, well, my ancestral lineage wasn't good, it was traumatic. This empowerment comes through you, through your identity. You've separated from your genetic lineage. They're now stood right behind you. So now we're going to strengthen your body and strengthen your root. So I want you to imagine your power comes now from your root. And this cord that may have been disempowering before, I want you to really strengthen that. So it might be that you see it as a real strong ball of fire, or a real strong red energetic colour that it intensifies and intensifies, and it intensifies with empowerment. And you can send that light back through to each side of your lineage, the male and the female, and strengthen it and magnetize it and make it stronger and more powerful through your own empowerment of your physical body, in your own stability and your own sense of security. And as that gets more powerful, allow them to just disappear, just to evaporate, just to melt away, just to disappear. And as they disappear one by one, if anything feels stubborn, it won't leave, step into empowerment. Keep working on your own vibration. You are stronger than you think, and you are here for a purpose. And using your imagination to let that go. And in the the place of the male and female lineage can now stand male and female figures that represent your spiritual father and your spiritual mother, the ones that do guide you going forward towards your spiritual mission with clarity. Your spiritual father and mother can be archetypal figures. You're using your imagination to tune in, so get a sense of what your spiritual father looks like, feels like, the power of his masculine energy. And tune in to your spiritual mother, her receptiveness, her nurturing, her compassion, and what she looks like and feels like. If you want, allow them to step forward right next to you, placing a hand on each shoulder, empowering you even more. And you can allow them to stay there if this feels comfortable for you, or just to be in your own space and presence. And I just want you to reflect on this question. When you reflect on your sense of safety and belonging, what beliefs or feelings arise? And having separated from your ancestors, how do you think or imagine these might trace back to patterns that you've inherited from your family or ancestral lineage? So thinking about and tuning in to your sense of safety and belonging, maybe your identity, owning your place or feeling quite insecure in this world, feeling like something is missing. Even a sense of not being worthy. Having separated the two lineage, the lines, the male and the female, having them step back, potentially with a barrier if that felt necessary. How do you think, how do you feel or get a sense of any patterns that you've inherited? Remember, this was not your choice to inherit particularly. It's sometimes, well, we can say everything is purposeful, but, let's just say you didn't say, I want to experience that knowingly if you were in utero and these imprints got passed down to you. So just get a sense of what patterns might not belong to you and maybe, can stay back with the ancestors. So just give you a minute just to think or write it down, or just to solidify the feelings. And then the next question is, what ways do you feel free or limited in pursuing a life that feels completely aligned to who you are on a soul level? So what limits you, or what might free you from pursuing the true life that you know is meant for you? What holds you back? And again, where do you feel, what do you feel might be the origin of the limitations that you sense. So again, imagining that you are a clean slate, that you separated and pulled out and removed all the genetic limiting beliefs that have been passed down, the awful experiences that have been passed down, the traumatic, the consequences, the wrong decisions, the awful environments, or the really limited mindset that have been passed on to you. Remove them, screen up. If you had a clean slate, and connecting with that version of you, that empowered version of you that has that clean slate, that is that new, renewed version of you. Potentially going forward with, the empowering archetypes of the spiritual mother and father. You connect with that version of you, the one that feels grounded and safe and loved and fully supported. Really ask yourself, what is it that you truly want? What are your dreams and passions? And what purpose might emerge from what you really want that's aligned with your soul's purpose? And how might transforming these patterns, it may be that this comes to you later, tomorrow. I know when you're walking, when you're having a bath, you think about, something might just come to you about what these generational patterns are that have been holding you back. But what if you could transform them with that new clean slate? Having a sense of awareness is the first key. So transforming these patterns can open the door to a life purpose that feels more aligned with your soul. So think about how you can maybe ponder upon the inherited patterns and consider the transformation that they can undergo, because this will liberate you and help you step into that more purposeful life path. It could be so totally unexpected, the messages that you receive. But when you feel ready to decompress from that and let that go, just take a nice deep breath in. You can breathe that energy back into the heart and breathe it all into the spinal system as well. And just come back into the here and now. Still feeling safe and supported with the energetic vibration and love that you've received and the support you've received from your spiritual father and mother. And if anyone has any comments, feel free to write them. So a card I just pulled is Trust. So it says, trust your feelings and dreams to guide your career path. So it is a sense of trust, because making the ego get out of the way for you to really listen to your body when it tells you what it is, and not that maybe the thoughts that drop into your mind. Trusting maybe the signs, the synchronicities, but I sometimes have a thing around that. Trust your feelings and dreams to guide your career path. Okay. So I'm going to use the tarot, the major arcana, just to ask some questions. So I have like this mat in front of me which has all different questions on it, and I'm going to use the pendulum to see what question for the group is necessary. Maybe there'll be a couple, I don't know yet. We'll just see how it goes. But if anybody has a question or anything they want to share, let me know. So I'm going to do a message from the divine first of all. So a message from the divine is the Sun card. So that is the ego card in a way. It's the personality. But it's also your deepest drive as well. So the Sun is where you shine the most. You know, our Sun is more than our personality, because our personality can be masked with so many different personas that we portray based on, so many different things, but our conditioning and stuff we talked about already. But your Sun card is where your light comes on. So the messages from the divine is to step in, as we were just talking before, about the clean slate, the new slate. If you could start again, you can start again. Let me rephrase that. You are going to start again. You have the choice to start again. If you choose to start again, how are you starting? What are you going to show up like? How is your soul going to be lit? Lit. I'm sure that's such a teenage word to say, isn't it? But I meant lit up. Okay. Okay, and a message from the soul is going to be the next question. Okay, this is about transformation. So as we did with our letting go of our ancestors, so we can become more into a place of authentic power and empowerment through our physical, through our, belief system, what we choose to believe, and how we can feel empowered in ourselves. This is about the death of the old, the transformation for the new to come in. So that's a message from your soul. So you've got the Sun card, which is amazing. You've got the transformation card. So any questions on this so far? Is this resonating with you? I hope so. I hope you've got something from it. Let's see, message from the subconscious. So a message from the subconscious, hi, sorry, I need to pronounce your title. I can't say it, something realm. Absolutely spot on, those cards. Yeah, they are spot on. So the world card is around kind of owning it now. It's feeling that level of accomplishment. This is such an amazing card to have. So this is like you're feeling on top of the world. You know, it kind of looks like a gold medal, but it's like you've made it, you've conquered it. You know, you're riding it, the sun in the background, the moon, like you're on the crescent, you're on the wave. You are powerful and you are moving forward. So that was a message from the subconscious. So if anybody starts to wobble or have doubts, look up the meaning of the World card and start to take ownership. You are in control. You're in control when you're aware. And if you can become aware of any ancestral, this life, any, previous generations that have been passed down to you, you can pass them back. Bring in whatever feels right as guides or archetypes to help you feel reparented. Let's not say your parents were in any way bad or they are bad. They might be completely loving, but they still have their beliefs. And they might not be in alignment to what yours should be to help you follow your purpose and step into that level of trust. So Ramens 21 says, love this, having a meeting with my business partner this week to start new things. Yes. Emma says, soul coding, this is exactly what I was thinking. Oh, Emma Bennett, soul coding. This is exactly what I was thinking too. Last question. What I need to balance. What I need to balance. It can be the light and the dark, actually. It can be the inner critic. But the judgment is the spiritual clarion call. It's the calling. It wakes the dead up. It makes it wakes up the spirit. So this really is about, come on guys, are you just, I just, what I mean, I swear, so sorry. But this card is basically someone saying to you, are you just here because you're fucking bored at 8 o'clock at night and you think I haven't got anything better to do? Or are you serious about getting your shit together and doing what it is that you've all written on a post saying you want to do? That's what this card is telling you to do. And this card says what I need to balance. So you need to balance, stop bullshitting yourself, crack on with doing the spiritual work and get it fucking done. No more excuses around. Do the work. Use your imagination to tune in. You're not making it up. Your mind is your most powerful tool. If you can take more control over your mind, it will get you where you want to go. And if you want to experience your soul purpose, you have to get in control of your mind. So you've brought the awareness into the ancestors, what the genetic imprinting may have been. You've had the messages from the divine around really stepping into your solar light now. You've had the message from your soul that this is about letting go now of the past. It's time for it to go. Sorry if it's painful, but it's about transformation. You've had your message from your subconscious, which I've forgotten what it was. Oh, it was the world. Accomplishment, getting on top now. And then you have the judgment card, which is what you need to balance. So you need to balance potentially how you're talking to yourself, how you're, judging, criticizing. Stop it. If you have anything to say and it's critical, that's fine. You can then replace it with another more empowering thought that is in alignment, because your brain will always do that. You're never going to really stop doing that, but you can train it to be this more empowering version. So Nick says that's the kick of the bum she needs to get going. Infinity light, death to our old beliefs. That, by trusting your own light. Yes, so we can be conscious about our ego by balancing everything and believing in yourselves. Yes. And if you have insecurities around believing in yourself, bring in, I mean, before I do any work like this, I tune in and I teach it in the quantum holographic echo healing and chakra alchemy courses. You'll learn how to do this and connect. But I tune in to my spiritual father archetype and my spiritual mother archetype, and 2 others actually, to do this kind of work. But for the root chakra, where we're reparenting from a clean slate, what is it what we want, what is it that we are here to do, and taking ownership of this now, then you can use the mother-father archetypes, who are kind, who are empowering, who know what your soul purpose is, and they're here to guide you. So I hope you have enjoyed that and you've got something from it. But yeah, just write it down. Don't forget, it'll come in your dreams and things like that. So have a pen and a piece of paper. And if you want to comment on this, if anything comes up for you in the next day or 2, just comment. I would love to hear your feedback, and we will have some kind of journal for you as well. Sophie says, thank you for tonight. You've been amazing. Already looking forward to next week. Thank you. So it'll be the sacral chakra, which is all about the inner child next week. So God knows what will come out about that one. Thank you. Susie's definitely going to work on her roots. You're from the alchemy. Yeah, good. That's a brilliant course. And thank you so much. Naomi, thank you so much for joining. Jane, thank you. My pleasure. Emma, thank you. Yeah, thanks, guys. So have a lovely sleep, and I wish you lots of luck with everything. And I'll see you next week anyway. All right, take care. Bye.